If you need a retail purchase order or a big launch to start acting like a real CEO, you're already late. In cannabis, that delay costs you cash flow. It costs you compliance, costs retailer trust, and especially shelf space. The market doesn't pay you for potential. It pays you for execution under pressure, and founders who win are the ones who lock in before the numbers look good. If you don't know me yet, I'm Chris. I've spent over 20 years in wholesale cannabis. I've held one of California's early distribution licenses. I've built and sold a licensed grow, and I've launched 2 licensed brands into over 100 licensed retail stores throughout California. Now I teach founders how to launch and scale cannabis brands legally without needing a license, and how to do it faster, smarter, and with fewer costly mistakes. Now, according to JP Morgan, only 9% of businesses will ever reach $1 million per year in revenue. That means that most businesses don't. Not because they can't, but because they never master execution, strategy, or discipline. And I'm not here to guarantee that you'll be in the 9%. I'm just here to give you the blueprint. And whether you use it or you waste it, it's all on you. We also go over this daily inside of my Telegram and on my free school community. The link's in the description below. Okay, let's get started. The hard truth about mindset in cannabis. It's not a motivation problem. It's an identity and responsibility problem. See, most of you are waiting for permission, whether that be permission through money, revenue, investors, retailers, and you're just acting like a hobbyist until something feels safe. And in cannabis, the penalties are real. There is no time to wait, especially with these laws changing as quickly as they are. On top of that, you're gonna have tax pressures, margin compression, compliance exposure, retailer churn, and other setbacks too. So locking in means full responsibility. No blaming distributors for slow movement, no blaming retailers for bad reorder cadences, no blaming the market for weak brand positioning, no blaming compliance for broken operations. Remember, everything is data. You can always track data. You can't improve what you're not measuring. And everything is your job until you delegate it and then audit that it's being done properly after you've delegated it. Next, let's jump into the ownership audit framework. First, it starts with pricing. These are your COGS, your landed costs to retail, your true margin after promos and returns. After pricing comes compliance. This is things like your COAs, your labeling, your packaging, your track and trace readiness. After that comes your retail readiness. And this is things like sell sheets, bud tender education, retailer education, the reorder plan for the retailers, as well as promos, PADs, in-store demos. Next comes cash flow. And this concerns things such as net terms, accounts payable, reserves and savings, as well as your realistic production runs. Next is distribution relationships. And this is where you want clear expectations, weekly scorecards, velocity by store, as well as an execution cadence. Things such as weekly priorities, daily output, and not having random tasks. And this is important. With my distributor for exotics, we have a weekly call. We go over our month-over-month growth. We go over any new sales from last week's call. We also look at existing inventory. We look at aging of that inventory. How old is it getting? We look at the velocity of the sales team. How much are they getting out there? Do we need to send out any promo units or some training units? And all these things are taken into account because we also need to get the next batch into the pipeline to get it tested, to get it into the distributor's hands so that the sales team can sell it before we run out from the previous batch. And we also don't want to have the previous batch age too much. So it's all about understanding what is our store velocity, what is our sell-through velocity, so that we can get the right amount of fresh flower in there to obviously get as close to exact demand as possible, so that by the time the next batch comes in, the previous batches being sold through. And so this plays into your execution cadence. And in order to do that, you need to have your priorities set. You need to have daily outputs, understand what it is you're working on and what those deliverables are, and avoiding just random tasks that pop up. Okay, next, you got to shift your identity before you start seeing results. So you have to step into that CEO identity before you start seeing CEO type of revenue. And this is your operator identity before you scale. This is your compliance identity before expansion. This is your leadership identity before you hire. The decisions from the person you need to become is who you need to become to make those decisions. Not being the person just hoping that it works out. And some of the before and after behaviors from this shift, before you make this shift, you're gonna be reactive, emotional, chasing shiny tactics, solutions, posting content with no retail strategy, looking for get rich quick type situations, easy wins, discounting to retailers just to buy love and avoiding hard conversations with partners and retailers too. But after you make these shifts into the CEO mindset, you're gonna be calm, direct, metric driven, based off data, building systems that survive regulations and competition, selling through with repeatable playbooks that you are in control of, protecting your margins by your brand positioning and your product discipline, and most importantly, earning retailer trust through your consistency and following through on your word. Next, the Cannabis Reality Check playbook. So retailers, they don't owe you shelf space. Your brand is measured by velocity, not your story. Promos are not a strategy. Compliance mistakes are expensive and reputation destroying. Cash flow kills more brands than competition does. Your job is to make it easy for the store to reorder and sell through that product. Okay, next, let's jump into the responsibility loop when something does go wrong. First, identify what happened. No excuses, just facts. Then ask yourself, what did I control? Is that the processes, the communication, the timelines, the budgets, the quality checks? Understand where you were hands-on. And then be real with yourself and understand, what did you ignore? What were some warning signs you ignored? Data you ignored? Feedback you ignored? And this can be feedback from your team, from buyers, from staff, from bud tenders. So what is the fix to that? The fix is having one change, one person owning that change, and a deadline attached to that. The prevention for things like this happening is putting together SOPs, checklists, scorecards, trainings, and more importantly, accountability for those systems you implement. If you want to need my help applying this to your brand, you can book a call below. I have a free brand building course down there. After you go through that, book a call with me. We'll go over your situation, come up with some strategies for you. And also join the Telegram and school, the links below as well. There's a lot of great content in those. Next, we're going to go over the unbreakable entrepreneur mindset that you have to have in regulated markets. And it starts with discipline over motivation. Process over vibes, proof over opinions, long-term trust over short-term cash grabs. Honestly, consistency is when it starts to get boring. You need to keep your composure when things go wrong, if someone ghosts you, if a deal falls through, delays. You also need to take action when the market's noisy. And that really comes down to, as an operator, trusting your gut and being prepared to pivot. Next, we're going over the operating standards that separate brand founders from pretenders. First, you need to have a non-negotiable weekly KPI review. KPI are key performance indicators. This can be things like velocity by SKU, by store. You also want to have margin protection rules if you're falling below a certain margin. You also want to understand what your minimum acceptable pricing is, and also what the limits on your promo units are. And next, you're gonna wanna make sure to do compliance checks before every drop. And this just happened where a new law changed where they needed to have a source ID in the package data for the metric track and trace. And the manufacturer that I had doing my packaging didn't put it on the case package properly, where the box that hold the case of Ace. Then when it got to the distributor, this one single code was wrong. So now the distributor, before they could intake it to their system, they had to fix this tracking code from the track and trace system and reapply new stickers to all the cases. So it delayed my onboarding with this new batch to the distro by at least 3 days. And that was just because of one number being wrong on a bunch of stickers. So understand compliance checks before every drop. Thankfully that happened before it got to the stores, to the retail level, but still we had that 3-day delay. So making sure that all components of your supply chain is on point and they know what they're doing. Next comes your retail touch points. And this is things like buyer follow-ups, staff training, as well as your reorder triggers. After that comes cash discipline. And this is having reserves, also having realistic forecasts, and especially putting your ego to the side and not buying stuff out of ego, not turning things down out of ego. Ego will kill a lot of good business. Next comes brand discipline. And this is having one clear message, one clear customer, and a tight SKU strategy. You don't want to be everything to everyone. So in closing, the main point I want to get across is you do not become the founder you want after the win. You have to become that person before the win. So lock in now, take full responsibility for everything that happens. Everything is your fault. Do not pass blame on. That's how you become in a victim mentality, because it means that it was out of your control. Something happened to you, you're a victim. That's pathetic and it's not gonna get you anywhere. You need to build the identity, the standards, and the systems that can handle pressure. That's how real businesses work. So if you're serious about scaling without needing a license, you can book a call with me, join the community using the links below. There's a free 30-minute brand building class I made for whoever's interested. And if it's something that aligns with your objectives, you can book a call with me. We'll go over a strategy for your situation and see if there's any ways I can help. And if you want more scripts, frameworks, store level strategies, marketing strategies, branding strategies, be sure to follow, subscribe, and stay close online.